Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Franklin, Massachusetts on this glorious Friday. The sky is blue, the sun is just lovely. It's wicked hot. And as soon as I finish this, I'm going for a little bit of a swim because I can. And so, but then I'll come back into my air conditioned house. I've got my jacket on because it's cool down here in the basement in my studio. But anyway, it's a lovely, lovely day, and we're going to have fun today making 2 cards. Here we are in Christmas in August. It's number 6. Holy moly, can you even believe this is, I think it's number 6, and it's 10 o'clock. So let's officially start. Good morning and welcome, everybody. If you are there, please pop in and say hi. And once again, I apologize for the delay on my feed because you sometimes read a message and then I don't see it for maybe 15, 20, sometimes 30 seconds. But that's technology. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Anyway, let's go. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I knew you would pop on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's get started. So let me bring this over here and show you. These are the cards that I had in my newsletter this week. One of my friends who comes to class every week, almost every week, is Ellen. Ellen and Cindy, I call them the twins. Anyway, Ellen said last week that she needed some sympathy cards. So I said, okay, we'll make some. And it's perfect because this is a very, very easy and fast card to make. And it can be used for so many different occasions. So we're going to make that. And then I absolutely had to start with this absolutely adorable, the Christmas mice bundle. I love little mice. Well, I don't like mice in my house, but I like watching them outside. And this, look at how cute this is. Look at the expression on that mouse's face. Look at how sweet. Now, I know in my newsletter, I actually had a mouse that I colored in Golden Glow and Crushed Curry, I think, were the colors that I used. But then I said, you know what, really, let's see what happens when I did it in the grays, which I liked much better. So anyway, that's that. But we're going to change this up a little bit because I do know I have some peeps that aren't particularly enamored with mice. So we're going to remove the mice from the equation and make a cute card. So I think we'll start with this one. So let me get this out of the way. And let me get everything that I need for this card. So let me move this out of here. And of course, we're going to start with a white base. And my little, whoops, what did I do? Here we go. And my bone folder is here. So let's get this nicely folded. I hope it's lovely in your neck of the woods, Beth. Is it as hot there as it is here? It's going to be mid-90s here today and humid. And possible storms later on this afternoon. Anyway, okay, so there is my base. And then I took another piece of basic white cardstock. This is 5 1/4 by 4. And I ran it through one of my all-time favorite Dainty Diamonds embossing folders. Isn't that pretty? And look at the pattern that you get with that. Isn't that pretty? You know what? I'm going to put my other light on. I started with it off. But let me just see if this is going to make a difference. Let's see if that's going to help so you can see that a little bit better. Yeah, I think that helps. So there, look at how pretty that impression is. Very subtle, but I love the way it looks. So let's get this adhered to our base card. And we'll put this on. Actually, I'm going to start using more Tombow. Just because I can. I go back and forth between my adhesives. I love my adhesives. All right, here we go. Look at how pretty that looks. It just gives us a really nice background. You know, the other thing I could have done was I could have put a layer of Highland Heather behind this and then put this on top of it, which we could do. You know, it's absolutely fine. We could do that. But for this, I'm just going to replicate it as I did in my newsletter. So now I'm going to take this piece of Highland Heather, and what I did here was I took the framed florets bundle. I'll show you that in a minute. But I took this oval and cut this oval out, and then I also used this flower leaf sprig. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. 2 sneezes. Anyway, so I cut it out, and you do, when you cut it out, you get the oval piece. We're going to save that later for another card because I'm a good saver, and I like to create things with whatever I have. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my Winky. Hot during the day, very still smoky. Morning coffee on the porch, and I'm a bit chilly. Well, enjoy that coffee on the porch. How fun is that? Out and getting all that fresh air. Well, it's not so fresh if you got the smoke. Still the smoke from the fires. Wow. Ugh. We had it for a couple of days, Beth. It was really crazy. It was like green, yellow in the sky. It was just such a weird color. But it's cleared now for us. I hope it clears for you very quickly. I think I'm going to sneeze again. Wait a minute. Ugh. It's only 8 o'clock there. Oh, I think I'm getting allergies. Anyway, okay, so I've got my Wink of Stella on that, and then I'm going to take the sprig that I cut out of leaves, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to wink this up. It's so much easier if you do it on your silicone pad than if you're doing it on your project. At least I think that's easier, just because I'm just going to make sure I get it where I want it. All right, so there is that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do with this, my leaf, is I'm going to cut this into two because, as you can see on my sample, I've got half of it here and half of it here. And so we just take my little snips, and I'm going to cut it right in here. And I'm going to take this piece off, and I'm going to take this piece off. I don't need those. All right. Get that out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over and add some Tombow. I just lost the needle. I've got needles in my little container here just in case this needs to be reamed out. And I don't know where it went. We'll find it one way or the other. It'll end up sticking to my finger and it'll be an ouch for a moment. Okay, let me get my little tweezers here to lift this up. And then I'm going to bring this in and we're going to place it. So I am going to try very hard to get this equidistant north, south, east, and west. Let me bring this up like this a little bit. I think this is looking pretty good right here. All right, let me put that down. So that's 1.5 and 1.5. And that's about right. Looks good to me. I'm just going to lift it up. Yep, and I'm just going to tilt it just a tiny little bit. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. Tap it down like that. And then on top of that, I'm going to put my leaves. And I'm not so worried about putting a lot of adhesive on. I mean, I'm just going to make sure that I get it on critical spots like the ends here. Just right like that. That looks good to me. And this one I'm going to put like right here. Tap that down. Just tap, tap, tap for a minute until that Tombow grabs that paper. You can just hold it down like that. Perfect. All right, let's take this bottom one and add a little bit on here too. How's your mom doing? Beth? How's she doing? I hope well. Okay, there's some of this, and I'm going to put this one on just like this. Like that. And again, tap it down. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to take my little medallion that I cut out. This is using the stitched shapes dies. Oldie but a goodie. Love them. Love it. So I took the second largest one and I cut this out. Now, today I'm going to use this. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. This is an old stamp set. Peaceful Moments, I think it's called. Yeah, Peaceful Moments. Oldie but a goodie. An oldie but a goodie. I love it. And so I'm going to use this one that says With Deepest Sympathy. And I'm going to use some Memento ink. And I'm just going to stamp this right in here, like this. perfect. Let me get this out of the way. There we go, get that out of the way. And I am going to use some dimensionals on this and stick it on. Oops, one of my flowers just popped up, the leaves just popped up. So I just added a little, she's good, an appointment this morning, she'll be able to join. Okay, I'm glad she's got an appointment. Tell her I said hi. All right, and then I'm gonna bring this in and I'm gonna put this right in the center like this. Perfect. And then, I'm not done yet. I'm going to take some pearls. Wait a minute, where's my other set of pearls? Here they are. And I'm going to take my little pick tool because I love my pick tool. Here with hiccups again. What is this with every single Friday morning? It's crazy. All right, let's add one here. And then let's add some little ones on the side. You know what? I think I'm going to go with this size. Why not? There's another one and another one. Pearls just add just a little degree of elegance, I think. There's that. Let me get these out of the way. And then take this out of the way. And then I'm going to take the inside and stamp this, just a little bit of flourish. I'm not going to put a message here because typically when I do sympathy cards, I like to write. So I'm just going to stamp that. Whoops, you didn't even see that, but there we go. The leaves there. And then the envelope, I'm going to do the same thing on the outside of the envelope, right here. Maybe another one. One more. There we go. I like that shadowing effect. I think it's really pretty. All right. So that is card number 1. Talk about easy. There we go. So that one says with deepest sympathy. And this says thinking of you with all my heart. Appropriate for many situations, I think. And I just think it's a really beautiful card. And for my peeps coming on this next week, if you want a layer behind it, just let me know and I'll have that cut for you. So anyway, that's the first card. Okay, so now let's talk about this little cute card. I think this, I totally love this set. This is called Christmas Mice, and it's a bundle. And it's got the cutest little mice, if you're into mice, as I am. A little hat, a little package. Of course, the beautiful Christmas lights on a banner, the stamp, a wreath, another hat with a pom-pom scarf, a bow, and the messages are absolutely adorable. A little ornament and a candy cane. And then it's got the coordinating dies with it, which is perfect. I love it. I absolutely love it. So this was the card that I made for my newsletter. And I know that I have peeps who are not enamored with mice. So today I'm going to change it up a little bit. But before I show you what we're going to do with that, let me just show you this paper, this designer paper. It can be bought as a suite, and it comes with 12 pieces. It's called a little Christmas DSP, and you get 12 sheets. But let me just show you the patterns. All right, so look at these little mice in their Christmas stockings. How cute is that? And then look at all these little cute little cherry cobbler bows. And then look at this one. Look at the mice, singing Christmas carols, carrying a tree, a piece of holly with his horn and a drum. I mean, so adorable. These just, wait a minute, I'm going to sneeze. That was a little sneeze. You like how I lined it up with the grid paper beneath? I do that a lot, Beth. Yeah, it works really well. So there's that piece. And then look at these. I love these panel pieces because you can cut them out and make one card. You could use them for scrapbooking, whatever, but a lot of the work is already done for you. Look at that, the library with the window and the snow falling, and this beautiful, this reminds me of a home in the Swiss Alps, and the fireplace with the stockings, and the kitchen. Look at how cute. At Christmas time, my kitchen doesn't look like that. It's too, my But this is idyllic. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Spit, shined, and polished, not a crumb in place. And then four little sections that you could use for tags. How cute. A Christmas tree. Let me show you this one down here. The tree over here. Look at how cute that is. And then all of these packages, and then a whole row of trees. Love it. And then look at this. This is the cookie making day. Look at the mice are making cookies, the cookies on the cookie sheet, putting some cherries on the gingerbread house over here. This is just adorable. And I can't decide if the mice are coming to take the cookie out or put the cookie in the cookie jar. Anyway, it's adorable. And then this one is decorating the trees. How cute is this? Adorable. Now, if you're not liking this side, the flip sides are absolutely gorgeous. Look at how pretty this is. This is a combination of the Christmas candy canes and bows and a piece of fur, balsam fir. Look at this print. Look at that plaid. I love it. This one is predominantly the mossy meadow with the cherry cobbler. Here is another one. This is subtle images of mossy meadow and gray granite. This flip side, look at how pretty that is. Combination of gray granite and cherry cobbler. And here is one with just the bows. And then here is one with the greens, different shades of the green. So this is a lot of paper that you get with this set, and a lot of versatility. Okay, so let me get this card out of the way, and let's bring this in. So we are going to start with a piece of mossy meadow. And this, of course, is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored down the middle, and then we're going to give it a nice crisp fold like this. Okay, then the next thing I did was to take a piece of this designer paper. This is the one that is predominantly the cherry cobbler plaid with the mossy meadow in the background. That's the side of the bows on this side. And then I took a piece of cherry cobbler, and I am going to put this DSP on the cherry cobbler. At first I tried just placing the designer paper by itself, but then I said, you know what? I think this will look really pretty if we had a piece of cherry cobbler behind it, and I really do like it. Now I see a little bit of fuzzy paper here. Here's a fuzz, so I'm just going to, with my nail, pull that down. This tells me that my mat needs to be changed on my cutter, which I'll do later on. And here is a little tiny piece of adhesive, so let's just take this right off. There we go. Perfect. Look at how pretty that looks. Now I'm going to put it on the base of the card. Isn't that pretty? That in and itself is really pretty. But let's continue here. I have a plan. No mice on this card. Nobody's going to be going, eek! There's a mouse in my house. We've had that happen. Okay, there we go. And then there was the time one of our cats actually got a mouse and was playing with it. And every time we tried to get the mouse out of the cat's mouth, the cat would run away with it. So that was quite a cat and mouse day game at our house. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to use this new folder, which is called Softly Woven. Look at how pretty this is. It's simply a woven piece of paper. I mean, it's lovely. And so I used it here with the mouse card. You can see it right there. And so what I did was this time I took a piece of it and I made a really small. So this piece actually is 2 by 3. And I'm going to mount it on this piece of cherry cobbler just like that. So let's put this on. You have to be careful. See, I could use my Tombow right now because this embossing folder is very, very detailed with its ups and downs, its little nooks and crannies. So I could have easily used Tombow, but I had my snail right here. So there we go. And look at that, east, west, and north, south. Perfect. Now, the next thing is I took a piece of mossy meadow and I cut it out with the tree die. And here it is. Now, before I attach it, I'm going to take it and I'm going to wink this thing up. And this winky, oh, maybe I'm speaking a little bit too soon here. There we go. See that winky? It just gives it that extra little bit of shine. I moved my lights once again. I'm so frustrated. I just haven't found the perfect setup with my lights. Anyway, okay, there is that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this new twine, which is so pretty. It's cherry cobbler, peaceful pine, and white. And it's a nice braid. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And so I'm going to do the same thing that I did with this card right here. I'm going to add the trim to it right now. So in order to do that, I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm going to anchor this down first right here on the back of it. So let's put it on like right like this. Perfect. Then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to start weaving it through my tree like this. How easy is this? How easy is that? Look at that. And then I'm going to take my scissors, my ribbon scissors, of course, only to be used for cloth and ribbon, and I'm going to wrap it around the back, and I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put a little bit of snail, and then I'm going to put it on like this. Okay, now I'm going to take more dimensionals, and I'm going to make sure that this thing is going to stay on because I'm going to press it really, really good like this. And one more down here. And press, 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 press. Now I'm going to flip these things right off. I love this twine. I think it's so pretty. It could be made for little packages. Actually, I just saw a really cute idea for a chocolate chip cookie that you can put in a food safe box. I'll show you that later. Not today, but in a couple weeks. But anyway, look at, I'm going to put this on just like this. Then I'm going to press, 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 press. Press, 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 press. How stinking cute. But wait, we're not done yet. I am going to take my cute little star punch with some, thank you for blessing me, Beth, thank you. And I'm just going to pop this out. Let's do it this way. And the reason I turned it over is because when, as you can see, when you press something through a punch, you want the cutting to go from the good side down to the back, which is just exactly what I did. So let's do a dimensional on this, because you don't want to see, you know what, this is going to be too big. Let me get a smaller one. Let's see if I have a small one. I do, right here. All right. I'm going to put it right in the center, and then I'm going to bring this in like this. How stinking cute is that? We're not done yet. Now, I am going to take these absolutely adorable embellishments. Look at how sweet these are. These are called Christmas epoxy shapes. We've got white stars, we've got gold stars, candy canes in red and green, ornaments and packages. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 of these on. I'm going to take my pick tool, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these blue Christmas packages, and I'm going to put this right down here like this. How cute is that? Then I'm going to take it. Whoa! Did you see that? It popped right. All right, I'm going to put this green one right there, and then I'm going to put a red one. Let's see if I can get this one off better. Let's put this one, I think we'll put this one right up, right here, like that. Oh, cute, 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 cute. How cute is that? I think it's very sweet. You can decide what you want. If you come into my class, you can decide what you want. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my card base back in. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here because I already went ahead and love the tree. Thanks, Beth. I think it's cute, too. I already stamped from all of us, and I put it on a piece of cherry cobbler. But I think what I want to do is maybe put it like this. What do you think? I think that looks pretty good, like that. Or should we put it center? What do you think? What do you think, Beth? Should we center it? Or should we do it like this? Like that? Or should we bring it down here and do it like this. Beth, give me an idea. Anybody else out there? What do you think? I can't decide here what to do. Let me think about this for a minute. You know what? Let's just table this for a second. Let me bring in the inside. So here is a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 vanilla cardstock that I stamped Merry Christmas in Cherry Cobbler. And then this little piece of paper was extra from when I cut out this panel. Because remember, initially I cut it out 5 1/4 by 4, and then I decided to back it with a piece of Cherry Cobbler. So this was extra. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste that. So we're going to take this off center. Thank you, Beth. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to bring this and I'm going to put this right down here on the bottom. How cute is this? Just an added little piece like that. And then I'm going to snip this off with my snips right here. Okay. And yeah, I definitely need to get a new mat. There. Okay, that's fine. Now, don't see, this is the back side of it because initially I got some ink on it where I didn't want ink. But you know what? There are no mistakes in Stampin' Up! Because we can use the back side. And nobody will ever know that the back side had a little faux pas on it. So I'm going to bring my card back in. And I'm going to put this on the inside just like this. Whoops, 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 whoops. Whoa, whoa, hold on. Hold, please. Let's see if I can get this up. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Oops. And for some reason, I got a little bit of adhesive here. And you notice I pull in one direction. If I pull it back and forth like an eraser erasing a piece of carbon from a paper, it will pill the paper. And I don't want that to happen. Okay, so Beth says to do it offside. So I shall. We're going to put some adhesive on this. Maybe I should have put this on before I put my tree on, but that's okay. We're veteran stampers. All right, offside. So let's bring this in like this. And the nice thing is I can use the stripes of this paper to line up this piece like that. Look at that. I mean, really, how clever is that? All right, and then here is this one, the little message. All right, and this, I'm going to bring this up, and we're going to do it like this, like that. And whoop, there is another piece of adhesive here. I'm getting adhesive all over the place, but my little handy dandy adhesive remover takes care of all of that. All right, so there is that, but wait, I'm not done yet. I'm going to take some of my iridescent ice and I'm just going to sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And then I'm just going to tap off. But I love the fact that there is magnetism here, and for whatever reason, it just sticks right on. Now the envelope. Okay, so initially I took the wreath and I stamped it in Precious Pine, but then, and I colored it in. Oh, I've got to color these little berries in. I love how they line up. Thanks, Beth. I agree. But let me just finish coloring these little berries right here. And initially, as I said, I was going to put this wreath on the front of the card, but I decided it was too busy. So I said, Self, let's do this on the envelope. And I will be using Tombow on this because I'm very cautious of the Postal Service when it's going through the machines to send it out to people. So I want to make sure that this is going to stick nicely. So let me just bring in my Tombow. It was meant to be. Yep. Yep. All right. So I'm going to make sure I have enough of this on all the way around like that. And then I'm going to put this on just like this. There we go, like this. Perfect. And I will take, I'm going to take a baby wipe because I got a tiny little smidge of Tombow, because that's the name of the game this morning. Get adhesive where you don't want it. but I'm just going to make sure that that is there. Okay. Oh, look what happened with my baby wipe. It kind of blended. You know what? So I'm going to do the whole thing now. See, there are no mistakes. There we go. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is, well, I will wait till that dries, and then I will put some Wink of Stella on that. But here is the second card with Sans mouse. How cute is that? So here is mouse card. And for those of you who want to do a mouse card, you can do a mouse card. And then for those of you who prefer not to do a mouse card, we'll do this one. So those are the cards for next week. Let me bring this in again. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Perfect. All right. So couple things that I want to mention. First of all, you probably know there's a great sale going on, 15% off selected DSP and other products as well, plus all of the last chance availability items as well. And don't forget, for us here in Massachusetts and many states throughout the United States, it's tax-free weekend. So I am placing an order tomorrow morning so I don't have to pay the tax. So just keep that in mind if you have some items that you need. So that is it for today, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed these cards, and I hope to see you next Friday morning, Franklin, Massachusetts, stamping at about 10 o'clock. And I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you enjoy this summer weather. We're having great summer weather. It's hot, it's humid, but be peaceful, be safe, drink lots of water,